Please welcome to the Late Show, Taylor Swift.
Really, that's a good year. Like, those two things that you just mentioned, right? Like, getting engaged to the love of my life, getting all my music back. Those were two things that just never could have happened. My third favorite person, and it's not in any order because I do talk to him a lot more than the other two, is Travis. I can talk to him about any of this, you know?
Taylor Swift walks into a late-night taping and suddenly the internet's acting like someone yanked the fire alarm. One glance at her outfit and everyone's scrambling like they are trying to decode a secret album drop. And honestly, with the way she shows up, who can blame them? This woman inhales and the timeline explodes. Taylor Swift steps out and instantly the entire internet forgets how to breathe. Honestly, you'd think she walked in carrying the mysteries of the universe instead of just looking unbelievably good. But nope, she's simply proving again that fashion is her backup superpower. Swift arrives at the Late Show with Stephen Colbert in what looks like her "I just tossed this on but it still costs more than your car" street-style teddy coat, plaid mini, knee-high boots, the whole cozy but elevated vibe. Insiders claim she kept the entrance low-key on purpose, like she knew she was about to switch modes once she hit the stage. And switch it she does. The moment those studio lights hit her, she's in full glam mode. This structured off-shoulder velvet burgundy mini dress that basically says Princess Diana but make it Swiftie-core. Sources say it's a David Comer piece priced at the kind of number that makes your bank account sob quietly in the corner. She pairs it with velvet pumps and a vintage diamond ruby necklace that costs about the same as a small apartment. Oh, and she's wearing that engagement ring, the custom one connected to Travis Kelce's circle. Fans spotted instantly, obviously.
Please welcome to the Late Show, Taylor Swift.
Social media meltdown. Full shutdown. Swifties are acting like she just descended from Mount Olympus. People are comparing the look to Diana's legendary revenge dress, insisting this might be Taylor's ultimate slay. Others swear she's giving festive rich aunt who buys everyone the premium gifts. The whole outfit over $83,000 and she wears it like it's a $29 Zara haul. Now moving straight into the next chaos moment. Colbert had already been hyping her up by posting this hilarious little montage of himself dancing to Opalite on Instagram like a dad at a wedding who suddenly discovers rhythm. He'd been teasing her arrival all day, basically acting like Swift was his season finale. So when Taylor finally sits down for the interview, she's in full "I run the world but also bake bread now" mode. She's leaning into this new wholesome but chaotic era, telling Colbert that after a 2-year global tour, she's become that friend who turns every conversation into a sourdough update. She even admitted she's now the type who sees a blank piece of fabric and thinks, "Yep, I could cross-stitch that." Colbert jokes about how stepping back from the spotlight might feel weird. And she basically tells him to redirect all that hyperactive energy toward his loved ones, even though he complains his family doesn't chant his name.
I'm bread girl now. I'm like, oh, you know, this isn't gonna cross-stitch itself. Do you know what I mean?
And speaking of things worth talking about, Taylor shifts gears and dives into what she calls the best year of her entire life because apparently 2025 decided to treat her like its favorite child. She lights up the moment the topic comes up, like someone just handed her a puppy wearing a tiny Chiefs jersey. She starts listing everything that made the year a total jackpot. And honestly, it sounds like the plot of a glamorous wish fulfillment movie. New album? Check. Massive personal wins? Check. Getting engaged to the guy the internet treats like America's boyfriend? Double check.
Give that to your friends and family, your community.
My friends and family don't chant my name.
And then there's the big one, finally reclaiming her music. She's still processing that part, like she keeps mentally pinching herself to confirm it actually happened and wasn't just some fever dream caused by jet lag and stadium lights. Intro 6. She points out that none of these moments were guaranteed, which makes them even sweeter. She gets especially soft when she talks about how thankful she is, the kind of grateful where you'd expect her to start handing out friendship bracelets to strangers in the audience.
Really, that's a good year. Like, those two things that you just mentioned, right? Like, getting engaged to the love of my life, getting all my music back. Those were two things that just never could have happened.
And just when she's floating on this cloud of accomplishment, Colbert tries to compare her to one of the biggest bands in history, and she basically reacts like he just told her she invented oxygen.
And my fans are why I was able to get my music back, you know. That's how I spent that Aerosol money, so.
But before Colbert can dig that hole any deeper, Taylor switches to something way more fun. The three people she actually turns to when life gets messy, confusing, or just downright chaotic. Which, let's be real, is daily when you're Taylor Swift. First up is a rock icon who's basically the fairy godmother of eyeliner and emotional endurance. Taylor talks about her with the kind of awe most people reserve for meeting Beyoncé and winning the lottery on the same day. This mentor apparently drops wisdom like she's sprinkling glitter effortlessly, constantly, and always with a vibe that screams I've survived things you can't even Google.
I'm so grateful for both of those things happening.
And then there's the producer whose brain seems permanently connected to a hit song generator. Sources say Taylor trusts him the way most of us trust our phone alarms fully, blindly, and with slight annoyance when he's right again. He's the guy she reportedly calls when she's debating whether a melody is genius or chaos. And he always gives her that brutally honest feedback she secretly loved.
It feels, I imagine this is what it felt like when the Beatles came into the Ed Sullivan Theater in 1964.
I don't know. I think they had a whole thing going. Do you know what I
And finally, the one she admits she talks to even more than the other two, Travis. According to insiders, he's become her go-to sounding board for everything. Music decisions, life decisions, snack decisions. She loves that he understands the circus of her world without needing a translator, and she leans on him for clarity when things get overwhelming.
I've been very lucky. I have Stevie Nicks in my life in a way that affects me positively constantly.
And right as she's wrapping up that whole "here are my top 3 life advisors" moment, she slides straight into the chaos Colbert really wants, her top 5 songs. The man basically tosses her the emotional equivalent of a live grenade. And Taylor just laughs like, oh, we're doing that today.
Also, I work with Max Martin, who I think is one of the greatest, most legendary creators, producers, songwriters that I think we're very lucky to live in the time that he's continuing to.
She immediately crowns All Too Well as the undisputed monarch of her entire catalog. That song has had more emotional impact on society than most global events. Intro 13. Then she admits the rest of the list is a work in progress. Classic Taylor keeping Swifties on a cliffhanger like it's her full-time job.
And another person, my third favorite person, and it's not in any order because I do talk to him a lot more than the other two, is Travis. I can talk to him about any of this, you know?
She does casually mention that Mirrorball is floating.
May I ask you, Taylor Swift, what are Taylor Swift's top 5 Taylor Swift songs?
Oh, wow. Oh, my God. Okay.
And before anyone can recover, Colbert casually tosses another curveball by dragging the Beatles into the chat. And suddenly Taylor is sitting there like, sir, absolutely not. But in the most polite Swiftian way possible, she brushes off the comparison so quickly you'd think someone tried to hand her a knockoff friendship bracelet. She insists she's nowhere near that level, like Colbert just tried to rank her above Oxygen and Sunshine. Meanwhile, the audience is practically levitating because being compared to the Fab Four is not exactly a minor compliment. Colbert goes full fanboy talking about how having her there feels like what the Ed Sullivan Theater must have felt like in 1964. And Taylor reacts with this adorable mix of flattered and please stop before Paul McCartney materializes out of thin air to correct this.
Soon, but I will say I think number 1 is All Too Well, the 10-minute version.
She keeps stressing that even with the insane success she's had, she still doesn't see herself in that Beatles category. That humility hits the room like a plot twist because if anyone else were called the modern-day Beatles, they'd be printing the quote on merch by morning.
I can't really do any of the others.
And as the crowd is still buzzing from that humility drop, Taylor shifts into something way more relatable because apparently even pop empresses need a post-show routine that doesn't involve floating on a cloud of Grammys. She explains that the second she escapes the stage chaos, she transforms into what can only be described as a very wealthy, very drained mermaid. Intro 18. She heads back to the hotel, removes the battle armor, and dives into a bath like she's auditioning for Aquaman.
Somewhere in this list, I think, is going to be a song called Mirrorball from the Folklore album.
Then comes the room service sprint. Sources insist she orders like she's trying to unlock a hidden menu, fueling up for another 3.5-hour marathon, as if carbs are her love language.
It feels, I imagine this is what it felt like when the Beatles came into the Ed Sullivan Theater in 1964.
I don't know. I think they had a whole thing going. Do you know what I mean?
But the night doesn't end with snacks and bubbles. Nope. After she's sufficiently steamed, fed, and semi-human again, she reportedly sits down and signs about 2,000 CDs. Yes, 2,000. Because nothing says unwind like turning your hotel room into a mini assembly line. She compares it to her Bread era, where doing something with her hands shuts off the idea machine in her brain before it starts writing 6 new albums by accident. Colbert, who's dealing with the impending doom of his show ending, asks for advice, and she basically tells him what insiders say she tells all hyperactive people: you don't stop the chaos, you redirect it. Hobbies, family, community, pour the same energy somewhere else, just don't pretend you're suddenly going to morph into a calm person who sits still. To no one's surprise, she admits she's now the type who gets aggressively excited about cross-stitching, which is exactly why the crowd loses it when the show's Instagram drops a chaotic little gem. Taylor and Colbert full-on lip-syncing Hey Stephen like two theater kids who got kicked out of rehearsal for excessive enthusiasm. Taylor's giving cute throwback energy while Colbert is committing like this is his Broadway debut. There's light choreography, emphasis on light because Taylor's hitting the beats while Colbert looks like he's trying to remember what his knees are supposed to do. The whole moment feels like a 2008 time capsule mixed with Dad at a Barbecue vibes, and fans are devouring it like it's a Lost Era tour bonus track. That's all for this video, folks. We'll see you next time.